Welcome and be inspired with Dominic, and while I kinda chose a bad framing by design, it's also kind of being lazy. This will be a different kind of video. There won't be a project, but I just wanted to get in front of the camera and ramble, basically giving you an update if you care for such things. Because I kinda hit a wall recently. It's to do with mental health and also with the whole YouTube thing. And I still, I just, well, I'm ad-libbing this anyway. I recently realized that I'm putting myself under a lot of pressure to make this channel work, to make the whole business work. Problem number one is this business consists of making things here and Be Inspired with Dominic. Also making things for my wife, the honey-do list, the whatever for the house, to justify this thing. And I'm also going into some tangents or tentacles of this beast, whatever. But it also includes writing role-playing supplements as walking paper cut and articles for that homepage. And in theory I also want to do cooking with Jabado, the culinary gnome, which is another side project or website I have. And there was something more, but I also wanted to make things to sell, to actually make money, to also justify this whole endeavor. And there's no need for me to justify it. I know that it's fine with everyone who I actually care about, but I also want to grow this thing and to get people to the Cultist podcast. Sorry, I missed you. No problem! Anyway, that's not what I meant with mental health. Stop that. There's a Cultist podcast, and I recently managed to record an episode which I also quite enjoy, but it's... I noticed that whenever I set my mind to one project, all the other projects raise their hands or whatever parts they already have and wave them at me for me to finish them instead. That also applies to thinking, if I do this for the channel, I don't do that for, well, let's say for a friend or the house, or fix this, and then I feel like I'm not really, well, I'm being too lazy by making a project instead of something that actually is necessary. On the other hand, there's the whole YouTube algorithm thing, and I don't want to blame this on the algorithm, but understandably, if I release a video every 6 months, the algorithm has no incentive to promote me in any decent fashion. So, on top of probably not making the most... I need to cut this out because this is bound to go too long, but on top of not making the most intriguing videos for people who don't know the Cultists, and probably even for those who do, I'm also crippling myself by wanting to do more videos, all the other problems preventing that, and then those videos I create don't get the traction I hoped they would. Also, this is a haircut reveal. That's kind of my attention span these days. I recently decided last week that I would, and hear me out on this one, that I would stop wanting to make YouTube videos. I didn't stop, I phrased that wrong, but since you're hearing me out, I'll just continue. I didn't mean to stop making them, but stop wanting to make them. That means if I have some spare time and a cool project that really tickles me, that sounded wrong, intrigues me, then I would do that. And I would also do podcast episodes if I get a topic, or maybe questions from you. What do you want to ask the Cultists? Hope your attention span is better than mine. The main change I made is I stopped thinking about needing to make YouTube videos to make this work. Instead, what I did the last 2 weeks, basically, for a change, I have to say, I actually went in the shop to make things. You can see some boards which I painted, so I was not going to touch them. I made these. I also made a birdhouse for next to the bee house, and it's not a birdhouse, it's a bird feeder actually. Just small things which I enjoyed making, and they brought back this enjoyment of making. I don't know when I get the next video out. I never knew that, but I always thought I could get into a weekly or bi-weekly, or maybe I finish one this year, kind of state of mind. Now it's whenever it's ready, which I think the only thing I learned from game design, which I never did, is that the best time to release something is when it's ready. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'd also appreciate your feedback regarding the cultists. Do you like them or not? I already said what I meant to say, and that's probably don't pressure yourself if you don't have to, because I'm fortunate enough to have a day job, which frankly I don't like it as much as making, but it pays the bills, and I always wanted to have making pay the bills, which is why I try to force myself. And there's a good tweet from the Maker Monster on how to assure that you lose your drive to make things. I'm paraphrasing. But the idea is to force yourself and to keep doing it, to put pressure on yourself. And while I knew all those in theory to avoid, that's basically what I did. So I'm going to stop doing that, and I hope things will come out of it. One change I want to make is I enjoy making cultist videos with this weird premise that the cultists did some kind of ritual. How could we? The chamber isn't heated. Sorry, don't know what that was. With some kind of premise for the cultists, or them at least talking about things. I do enjoy that part, yes, but I have some things in the shop. I did something for my dust collector and something for the table saw. I want to make different videos where I just show you stuff that might inspire you. And I can talk about this all day, trust me, I can. But that won't inspire you as much, so that's just a warning. Consider this a warning. Also, I didn't want this to run too long. I don't know how much I'll edit this, because it's important to come across natural and not insane or something. You're doing fine! And with that, hope to see you again soon. Give me feedback, comment, let me know what you think, what you ate for supper or lunch, or yeah. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember to be inspired.